Hi guys, tonight we're going to look at the Donner DP2 isolated power supply. This is from donnerdeal.com. We're going to open up the box, we're going to take a look at what's inside, and then a little later on we're going to hook them up with a whole bunch of pedals. We'll do a quick power test and see how it goes. But for right now, let's open up the box and see what's in it. Alright, so when you order the DP2, it comes in this package. You get the address here, and so let's see what's going on here. Alright, so first things first, we've got a very quick and easy manual, how to connect it, talks a little bit about the short circuit protection, and has a little list of all the items that you'll find in the box. And so that's it, it's just one page. Alright, so quick and easy manual. And the smaller box here, the thinner one here, is the actual power supply itself. So there's the DP2. Alright, so a little more rugged than the DP1. It still has, okay, so let's take a quick look here. So from ports, well, the first port is the actual DC power in from the adapter. And then I'm going to hold it up a little bit closer here. Hopefully it'll focus. All right. Okay, so from 1 to 6 are 9-volt outputs. Each one is at 100 milliamps. Then you've got 2 more 9-volt outputs that are 500 milliamps each. And then at the very end, come on, there we go. At the very end, you've got a 12-volt at 500 milliamps. And then an 18-volt as well. So if you have higher power consumption there, you can do that. You can use those ones. There's a little switch here for the lights, and each one of the outputs has its own light. And what happens here is if one goes out, you'll see the light go out, and it should not affect the other lights. So anyways, let's see what else is in the box. All right, so we'll set that over. Next box we'll have, so this is the power adapter that will go in, okay, the power supply that will actually power the unit itself. So right in there on that far left hand side, we're going to plug that in, right? And then you've got some voltage, or sorry, some positive negative inverters here. So if you have something that's positive tip as opposed to negative tip, or vice versa, these ones will make that change for you. So there's 2 of them, so that's kind of nice that they included that in there. All right, so that was the second box. And then the last box, I believe, are the actual jumper cables, the patch cables for the DP2 unit. So that's very well packaged here. Lots of twist ties. There we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there you go. All right, so everything out of the way. Here's your power supply, your power inverters, your actual adapter for the power supply, and 10 patch cables. All right, so we're going to hook these up. I've got a whole bunch of pedals over here. Well, that's a volume. I'm not going to hook that up. I've got a whole bunch of got a whole bunch of pedals that I'm going to connect up to this little power supply, and we're going to see what it looks like. All right. All right, so I've got 10 pedals all together here connected up to the DP2 power supply. My tuner kind of kicks on as soon as I plug it in, so I just sort of take it as a given that this one works all right. But what I've got is I've tried to simulate a pedal board as best as I could. So I've got a compressor, my tuner, there's a wah and a couple of drive pedals, and then I've got 4 digital pedals, I've got 2 reverbs, and I've got 2 digital delays, and then at the end I've got a noise gate. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to power each one up. We're going to look for any kind of flickering, either with the LEDs here from the power supply, or if there's any flickering at all within the pedals themselves. So I'm just going to work clockwise, starting with the compressor. So we're going to turn that on, And that's on nice and bright. And then the wah pedal. There we go. Hopefully you can see that. And then the drives. Now this is the drive. This is a tube screamer that I've got running at the 12 volt at 500 milliamps, and then I've got an OCD clone that I'm running at 18 volts. So these two guys are taking the big voltage here. And then the reverbs. So far so good. Let's add the delays. I'm sorry about that. And then the second delay, and then the noise gate. All right, so hopefully you can see everything is on nice and bright. I'm not seeing any flickering whatsoever. I'm getting good, looks like I'm getting good amperage out of every single one of these pedals. So I think the power test is good. Now, if you don't like the bright blue lights on there, a little switch there will turn them off, and that'll make it a little bit easier on the eyes if you're staring at it. Underneath the pedal board would be pretty cool, because then you have the lights here kind of shining all of your patch cables and everything. So that in itself is really, really handy. So I'm not going to do a sound test, only because if I had all these going on at the same time, that would just be crazy. But the power test works. So the other thing that we could also keep in mind is that these higher amperage ones, these 500 milliamps and this other 500 milliamps, if you wanted to, you could get one of these extension cables. You can also get these at Donner, and you could probably power up, I don't know, at 500 milliamps. Most drive pedals, I mean, we're only talking a couple of milliamps, maybe 10 or 12. Well, these two outlets here run at 500 milliamps. You could easily power probably every drive stage out of just one of those outputs using one of these daisy chains. It's up to you how you want to run it. The more you daisy chain, the more noise you will add into your signal. But for right now, everything has its own isolated spot, and everything is working good. Everything looks great. Again, no flickering whatsoever. I think it's good. All right, so that is the DP2 power supply by Donner. You can find them at donnerdeal.com. And if you have any questions, you can just message me at the bottom of this video, and I'll be happy to answer anything that you have. All right, so there you go, Donner Deal, DP2 isolated power supply for 9, 12, and 18 volt. All right, that's it. Have a great night.